that marriage is just completely arbitrary then.
For the most part, yeah. For the most part, yeah, it is.
See, I have a definition of marriage. I think that if you're like a civil union is a different thing from a marriage, but a marriage is a church institution, and it has like definitions. It actually means something.
I don't recognize the church the same way you don't recognize same-sex marriage.
Yeah, I mean, but your point about abortion though. So why would it be wrong for me to stop babies getting murdered? That seems to me a hard case.
That presupposes that that's what's happening. That's a presupposition. You're presupposing that abortion is straight all the time, 100% babies getting murdered.
And you're presupposing everything that you think is bad is bad. Duh.
So when should abortion not happen?
Personally, I don't think it should happen before. I would not have one at the third trimester. Personally,
you wouldn't have one.
But what my neighbor does is none of my business.
But the second trimester is fine. This is what's wrong with the abortion debate, is that these people just pick these arbitrary lines on where it's just too far. Just too far. Like that's why you need a concise point. And for the science lovers, the consensus from science states that life begins at conception. Now, you can get into the semantics on whether or not you think it's a baby, but it's definitely human life. So every single abortion is ending human life. And you just said earlier, we shouldn't be killing people. Hello?
Okay, well, when do you think human life begins?
I believe human life begins at birth. The Bible actually supports that too, but most Christians don't realize that.
No, the Bible actually says that God knew you before you even existed.
But it's not referring to when your life began. That's correct. It does say that, but that's not referring to when your life began. Not at all.
So, but even if we just look at this,
ignoring your
from
shitty
the
interpretation,
scientific perspective or the secular humanist perspective, when do you think that scientists believe that life begins?
So he said that life begins at birth. So if life doesn't begin until birth, then why do you have a problem with third trimester abortions? If it's not even a life until it's born, a couple inches away from the birth canal, why do you have a problem with it? Is it just this?
I just feel like it. I don't like it when you do that.
Man. Stupid. It is stupid. Like, holy shit, dude.
That's too broad of a statement. They can have just as many disagreements as anyone else. There's no. So
we're not looking at scientific consensus. I mean, if you look at scientific consensus, they're going to tell you, and there's been like extensive studies done with biologists who will say that life begins at conception the moment that the egg is fertilized. So
your original
that
question,
is human life.
Do you not believe that?
Do you not believe that basically the day before a baby is born, when it's still in the womb, you don't think that that's a human being?
You asked me what scientists think, and then you referred to consensus. Consensus is going to imply that there's differences. We can't ask me what all scientists think and then ask about consensus, because scientists don't all agree on that. You can find a scientist that'll say one thing and a scientist that says.
But the consensus, you were appealing to the masses earlier. That's all of what secular humanism is just appealing to the masses, appealing to the majority. The consensus means that a majority of the scientific community agrees with this. You idiot.
Another.
Yeah, you can. But generally with science, you test it, you have an observation and a hypothesis, you test it, it's a scientific method, and when it comes to life and when it comes to biology, it's a pretty established field of science. So, do you take issue with the fact that scientists believe that babies in the womb are human beings, that life has begun?
That seems like a little bit of a different question. So no, I don't take issue with them being human beings. I mean, it's not a horse. So it's certainly not. Yeah, well, of course. A fetus is a human being. What we're talking about is where life begins. And I don't think life begins.
That a fetus is a human being. Your whole worldview is based upon consent. So the baby isn't consenting to being murdered. So how's that right?
The baby can't consent to anything. That's exactly the nonsensical statement. Even the Christian Bible says otherwise. The Christian Bible talks about life beginning at birth. That's when God breathed life into you. That's what the miracle of birth is. You were just a shell, you're dust and clay.
You just admitted
even your
that it's a
worldview
human
doesn't agree
being.
with what you just said.
But you just admitted to it being a human being. So
this is why I hold the position that not everybody should be allowed to read the Bible, because then you get these goofy statements.
The baby is a human being, and you've just admitted to that. and your whole worldview is based around people consenting, the baby hasn't consented to being murdered.
It's impossible
So
for
then
a baby
how's
to
it wrong?
consent.
So then how's it wrong for me as a Christian to want to actually come in and say, no, you can't kill this baby? How's that wrong?
There's nothing wrong with you wanting to come in and say that. There's something wrong with you stopping
Okay,
other
there's
people.
nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with you wanting to come in and say that. Say it all you want, but it's none of your business.
But you just said that you would come in and stop the children from being
Exactly.
molested, basically. You said
If
you
this
would
was on
stop
my
that.
street in my front yard, I absolutely would. If it was in
Okay,
Papua
well-
New Guinea, I wouldn't. It's not,
Okay.
I
So now
wouldn't.
it's
Interesting. So if it's far enough away from you, like you wouldn't care about it. I wonder. Does he take the position that America shouldn't have intervened in World War II? You know, because that was like far away. Those atrocities were happening far away. Allegedly. But those were happening far away. Like, would you advocate that we not get involved in World War II? You know, protecting democracy.
about where it is. What if it's in what
Absolutely.
if it's in the street next to you?
In the United States, yeah, I would.
Yeah. If it's in the United States at all.
Any type of child molestation, if I could,
Yep.
yeah, I would absolutely help out.
Okay, so then that's just completely destroys your logic, because I would want to do the same thing in my country with abortion. I'd want to stop kids from getting murdered.
Well, you're talking about want to. No. You can't jump from what would I do to want to. That's two different topics.
You said you
You're
would stop
asking me. I would.
Okay, sophist. Well, want to and would do are two different things. I would want to stop the molestation, but would I? What? Oh. Jake, you have way more patience than I would with this guy. I would have called him a fucking idiot by now. I mean, just being honest. Just being honest. Like, that's wow.
Stop someone from being molested in the public street
I'd
next to
stop
me. That has
people from
nothing to
killing
do with
babies.
abortion. That's
I'd stop
nothing
people from killing babies. It's just your logic, man. You're saying that you want to protect children from this sort of thing happening.
I didn't say
I'm
that.
saying I want to protect children from being murdered. So you said you'd
You're
stop it.
putting
I
a
said
lot of
I'd
words
stop
in my
it.
mouth. I didn't say that. Can you see the difference between abortion and a child molestation?
Yeah, I can understand that one of
Okay.
them is murdering a child and one of them is molesting a child. But
Okay, so
equally,
let's
the
let's
logic
pick
equally
one.
applies.
I don't think so. Let's pick one and stick to it. Because the fact that I'm telling you I would stop a child molestation from happening on a sidewalk has nothing to do with my thoughts on abortion. You
Okay,
can't
so
combine
if you
those two.
saw the
That's two
child
different things.
Then if you saw the child being murdered, would you stop it?
A child, as in a born child.
The point is, you may not see abortion as being that big of a deal, but we do. So the point of the argument is, hey, we see something evil happening, we want to stop it. You find the molestation of children evil, I agree, you want to stop it. We see this as evil as well, we want to stop it. Why is it wrong? Just because you don't think it's evil, like, should we all like convene with you before we do anything to determine whether or not, you know, we're justified in what we're doing? Or are you the arbiter of all of our decisions? Well, obviously not, because you don't think anything is objectively immoral. You idiot.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
would.
Yep.
A
Okay.
born child, I absolutely would.
So then
If I saw an
we
abortion
are in the
happening on
same
the
thing.
sidewalk, I would have some questions there.
So you wouldn't stop that?
I would have more concerns about the fact that there's an abortion clinic on the sidewalk.
Right.
You know,
There
that is-
practically
it's
is.
That's a little bit of
You've-
a crazy example.
You've just
There practically
said that
is.
they're human beings. Obviously, they're child.
Have you not heard of the vans and buses driving around like the mobile abortion clinics? Like they're driving, because there are states that have put restrictions on abortions. Thank God. But now there's these like Planned Parenthood is doing this. They're taking these mobile clinics and they're just setting up on the border of the state so people don't have far to drive. And they're just doing it out in the open. Are you okay with that? Huh?
They're children. They're human beings. I've said that I would stop that, and you said that you would stop that as well, them being killed. So
Are
there
you
really is no
qualified to do to
distinction.
stop that?
Well, I can't. I don't really
Have
have
you done- you said
manpower.
you'd stop
But
it. Have you done
if I had the institutional power, I would absolutely stop that.
So now there's an if.
Yeah.
There wasn't
no,
one.
you
I
need-
didn't
you
get to have
obviously
it. You do.
You need, well, I said, would you stop that? I didn't say, have you stopped that? I said,
Okay, would you
stop that?
stop that?
Yeah, absolutely.
In Papua New Guinea, you would go right up there and just stop it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're back to the whole you want to impose your will, and I don't. I think
Yeah,
what they were
You
doing
do.
was
I
wrong
want to stop
completely.
people from inseminating children. Strike me down.
I'm not thrilled about it at all. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying for support of what they're doing. I think that's disgusting, to be quite honest. But at the same time, I'm not enforcing my will on anyone.
But it's their will, and they're all happy to do it. So I don't really
Then leave
understand
them alone.
why you even have a problem with it.
That's
Fine,
not
okay,
your
then
problem.
okay, well then you're
That's
happy
not your
to.
problem.
Then you're happy to have that. I'm not. I would stop that.
No,
This is
no,
what Christians
you
have
said
done
I'm
throughout
happy to
history,
have
and
that.
Christians have done
That's
this
an
throughout the entire
I didn't
world.
say I was happy to have it. I'm just
You
being
said-
realistic. I'm not flying to Papua New Guinea to go stop this. If it's across
You said
the street
leave them
from me, that's
alone.
different.
They're actualizing. Leave them alone.
No. You're gonna tell. I'm not flying to Papua New Guinea. Neither are you. That's just absurd. If it's